Hello and welcome to Culinary Haven Christmas Edition, Part 2. Today we're baking cranberry and almond Christmas wreath. Sweet yeast dough, tangy cranberries, crunchy almonds, topped up with cranberry glaze and icing sugar. It could be a great centerpiece for your Christmas tea table. Let's begin. To make cranberry and almond Christmas wreath, we'll need 550 grams of plain flour, 100 grams of sugar, 170 grams of butter, unsalted butter, 200 ml of milk, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon of instant yeast, 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons heaped teaspoons of orange zest, either fresh or frozen. I don't have fresh oranges today, but I always have a frozen orange zest in the freezer. Highly recommend. 300 grams of fresh cranberries, 150 grams of sugar, and 30 grams of almonds. And we'll start with preparing the dough. Into a large bowl, we'll sift the flour, 550 grams of plain flour, the salt, the yeast, and sift it all together. Don't skip this part. It's important to sift the flour. It will ensure the best rising of the dough. Now, the milk should be lukewarm, about 30 degrees Celsius, just nice and warm, not hot. We don't want it to kill the yeast, but it should be warm to help it rising faster. And the butter as well should be soft at room temperature, softened to room temperature. We're adding the sugar into the milk, vanilla, pure vanilla extract, 1.5 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of orange zest. Look at that, it looks like just been made. And the eggs, we'll crack both eggs into the milk. And just whisk it all together. You can of course make the dough in a stand mixer with a hook attachment, but I really enjoy doing it by hand. And also some people don't have a stand mixer, and I don't want them to tell me that, oh, I was going to make it and would love to, but I don't have the stand mixer. You don't need the stand mixer, you can do it by hand. The cranberries and the almonds are the filling for the wreath, so they will come later. Prepare your worktop, clean it, clear it of everything. Make sure you have some flour handy to dust your surface when we're kneading the dough. And first we'll pour the milk, egg and sugar mixture into the flour and start the dough. Just mix it all together, and very soon the dough will form. Just with a spoon or a rubber spatula, whatever you have. And just in a couple of seconds I'll switch to just doing it by hand. There you go. Kneading the dough, my favorite part. We are actually going to show you in a close-up how to knead the dough, how to make it go from this dry flour, shaggy dough to a lovely, smooth, elastic and soft dough in just a couple of minutes. We will now start incorporating the butter into the dough, which is very soft, and it will also give the moisture to the dough to complete the dough making process. The dough has come together in the bowl. There's no more dry bits, and we continue on the worktop. Just a little bit of flour, just a little tiny sprinkle, and we'll start kneading, pushing it, pulling, and at the same time we'll start incorporating the butter into the dough, just a little bit at a time. It will be a little bit messy at first, but don't worry, it'll be just fine in the end. A little bit more. Oops. I know what it looks like just now, and you think, oh my god, what is this mess? But it'll be fine. And more again, just spread it. Spread this butter throughout. Perhaps there are other techniques of incorporating the butter into the dough, especially if you're doing it in a in a stand mixer, but if you do it by hand, I find it the best way. Just spread a little bit of butter into this mess and just keep doing this, and you'll see we're not doing any shortcuts, so you will see the whole process, how it goes from this to the final ready dough. See, looks really funny, but alright.
Sounds even better than it looks.
Just like this, do what I do. You will end up with the incredibly feather-like, light, fluffy, delicious dough. Incorporate the butter into the dough by just making a mess like this. And now serious kneading is about to start. Use a dough scraper if you have one. It's greatest help in dough making. And just do this. Push and sort of pull it back together. It's not happening just yet because just now it's just a wet, very super sticky dough. My hands are covered in it, and it's just an absolute joke. But don't worry. See, I'm not worried. I'm telling you, it's gonna be an amazing, silky, smooth, elastic dough in a couple of minutes from now. Now we're going to sprinkle a tiny amount of flour, less than a teaspoon, just so we can get a grip. And that's all we need. We always need to get a grip. I don't know if you can see it, because I can't see it. It's already happening. It's already getting better, getting together, getting smoother. Again, a tiny sprinkle of flour, like literally less than a teaspoon. Here you go. Now you can see it. See? It's coming with me. All I'm doing is pushing it, pulling it, and it's coming back with me into this lovely, soft, pliable little ball of dough. Two minutes ago, there was an absolute unmanageable mess on the worktop. And now I sprinkled the worktop with, in total, 1 teaspoon of flour. And look what we have here. Now, the dough is ready. It's not sticking to my hands. It's completely soft, pliable, and elastic. And now we're going to put it back into the bowl. Cover it with cling film and let it rise until it doubled in bulk. If you want to make this process going faster, you can fill a little tray or a bowl on the bottom of your oven with hot water and put this bowl with your dough on a higher level, maybe top shelf of your oven if it will get in height-wise, and the steam created in the oven will help the dough to rise much faster, and an hour and the dough will be risen. If not, just put it in a warm place, then probably an hour and a half should be enough for the dough to rise. And in any case, don't rush it. Give it as much time as it wants. The dough must be risen and doubled in bulk. The dough is almost risen and we'll prepare the filling. We'll just chop the cranberries, mix them with sugar, and then drain them from the excess juice. In a food processor, 300 grams cranberries, washed and dried. We'll chop them very roughly, just a few seconds, and then add 150 grams of sugar, because the cranberries are very tart and it takes a lot of sugar to make them taste nice. Let's see. Yeah, that's about right. I'll show you the consistency. This is enough. Don't make them any smaller. Chop them roughly and mix with the sugar. Now they're chopped, they will release the juices and the sugar will create a lot of moisture we don't need. We're going to drain the excess juice. Put a sieve over a little bowl. Transfer the chopped cranberries with sugar into the sieve. We don't need to apply any pressure or anything. Whatever needs to drain or will go into the bowl, and then we'll use the juice from this bowl to make the glaze. The dough has risen perfectly in the steamy oven, and it took exactly 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it's more than doubled in bulk. And now we're going to roll the dough out, and our cranberries have drained perfectly. All the excess juice is in the bowl. Let's make the wreath. Prepare a baking tray lined with a baking parchment. Flour the surface and the rolling pin. The dough is so incredibly light and airy, beautiful. Because it was sitting there in the warm oven, it smells with vanilla and orange zest. Right, let's roll it out into a rectangle about 50 by 30 centimeters. Just a little bit more flour. even it out and stretch it with your hands just to keep them floured. Doesn't have to be precise, but I like to check the measurements with my kitchen ruler. Right now it's 25 by 41, so a little bit more. I'm actually going to turn it the other way. Just roll it up. Turn it this way. We want the long side close to us to roll up it into a log. Now we're going to scatter the cranberries all over the dough. Just everywhere. A little bit of juice still dripping, but it's fine, it's not too much. Scatter it sort of evenly throughout, but it doesn't matter. We're going to roll it up and twist, so it will be everywhere anyway, the filling, that is. And now the flaked almonds, just also everywhere. But they're very light, so 30 grams is actually plenty. Starting from this side, just roll it up as if you're making a Swiss roll, just into a log. There. And now I'm going to turn it this way. Straighten it up, press it down a little bit. Just make sure there is flour underneath so it's not sticking and tearing anywhere. We can't afford that at this point. It has to be smooth operation from now onwards. Now this log we're going to cut in half, almost to the end, just a couple of inches left. Sharp knife in the middle, cut it all the way down. And separate. Through and separate the two halves. And now twist each half on its own, just like so. Just a little twist. Like this. You see what I'm doing here? Just a few times over itself. And the same with the other half. They will not fall out, the cranberries that is. It's fine, don't worry about that. Just gently twist it around. And now we're going to twist them two together. Just like this. And now we're going to make a wreath. Just the two ends pushed together. So that's how it will look like just now. And now we're going to transfer the wreath onto the parchment lined tray. Just lift it from both sides carefully and quickly transfer it onto the parchment. Just adjust the parchment, adjust the wreath. You can reshape it a little bit, it's fine, there is nothing wrong with that. because we're going to put it back to rise for about 30-45 minutes so it's puffed up and ready to bake. Here we are, 45 minutes in the oven with a bowl of hot water on the bottom helped to puff up our wreath. If you can't do that, if you're using your oven for something else, baking or roasting something, you can just put it to rest and puff up in a warm place, draft-free warm place, covered loosely. We need to egg wash it. Egg wash is 1 egg into a little bowl and 1 tablespoon of cold water. Mix it together, just like that, whisk it together. Get a pastry brush and just paint your wreath all over, gently, don't push. Which will give a lovely finish to it, shiny golden brown. This is our wreath, painted with the egg wash and ready to go into the oven. We're going to bake it in the preheated to 180 degrees Celsius oven for about 35 to 45 minutes, depends on your oven. Keep an eye on it in the last 10 minutes. Don't overdo it. It should be golden brown but not too dark, because if you bake it for too long, the pastry will be drier than it should be. So, for example, in my oven it's about 40 minutes, so just after 35 minutes, keep checking. I'm sorry, we have just noticed that there was a little technical problem when we were filming how to make the glaze. The wreath is nearly ready and the glaze is already made, and we filmed it all, but there was a problem with the sound, so I'll just repeat everything I said and direct you how to do it. You'll need 120 grams of icing sugar into a bowl, and then using a tablespoon add 3 to 4 tablespoons of the cranberry juice into the bowl and stir after each addition of the liquid. We're looking for pouring consistency. Just add the liquid gradually, because it takes very little liquid to make a whole bowl of icing sugar into a runny glaze. And this is the consistency, ribbon-like consistency, and an absolutely gorgeous color of our cranberry glaze. And in the end, I said that if you have any juice left over, just dilute it with some water and enjoy a lovely cranberry drink. It's ready, and just take a look at that. How beautiful is that? We can't wait to decorate, cool, and just enjoy it. I'm going to transfer it onto the wire rack, just on the parchment, and just pour it in a very thin streak, just all over the wreath. Look at that. Because it's very hot, it's just out of the oven, the glaze will set really, really quickly. And in a few minutes you'll be able to also decorate it with some icing sugar. It took just 5 minutes because the wreath is still warm. It was very hot. The glaze is already set. You can touch it and it's not moving, it's set. And now the last touch is just a little dusting with icing sugar to make it even prettier. And now we just need to let it cool before we slice and serve it. Thank you for watching this episode of Culinary Haven. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone. We hope you all have a great time during the festive season. We are going to take a little time off, but don't worry, we're going to show you throughout the whole month of January, in 4 installments, the vlog about our foodie trip to Las Vegas. And until next time, bye!